And now, Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me, as always, is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell Blank. Tyler, it's Sunday. Wrestling happened this week. There's so much to get into. We got life to get into. We got a rose to get into. We got trap tales to get into. But before we get into any of that, how you doing?
Yeah, I feel light. I feel great. I feel grateful today, Brad. The rundown that you just provided, I'm so excited about it. We're going to get into a lot of topics on this episode. I first want to hear how you're doing. It was your first week back from spring break. Fill us in. We need the details.
It was really good. It was a little frantic. It was sort of one of those things where it's like, all right, well, I got a little bit of a breather. Not enough. I got a little bit of a breather and we got back and it felt great. And then it felt terrible. It suddenly became, I have so much to do and the time's almost up. Clock is ticking. It's study session time. It's book fair planning time. We have like 6 different events in the auditorium. It's still a mess from the musical. We got to clean it up. And now I got to prep for next year. And I'm already thinking about 4 months from now versus, or 5 months from now, whatever it is, versus Friday. So I'm trying to clean up all of these things, but it is so good. We were just talking in the production meeting. It feels good to have all these little problems because all these problems are ultimately blessings. Not everybody gets to have a job like this. Not everybody gets to, meet 120 new people and make relationships with them and go do really cool stuff. Not everybody has access to the things that are required to do that stuff, which is what I think drew in our help this year. The 2 individuals I mentioned came and helped out in the theater. Shout out to John and Nicole. They don't have a theater they can just go into and work. So they understand the value in it. And it's a really cool space to be. The mental and social health kids are doing well. The AP Psych kids, it's time to start really locking in. But I got to watch Winnie the Pooh on Friday, Tyler. Anytime you get to watch Winnie the Pooh for a class, it's a good day.
I think life peaked for you on Friday, at least professionally.
We were diagnosing the characters of the 100-Acre Wood, and based on the DSM-5, it's the diagnostic manual that psychologists, psychiatrists reference. Everybody's fine. Nobody has a disorder, but everybody always wants to go, Tigger has ADD. It's like, based on that, look at the criteria and tell me how many. You got to meet 6 criteria. How many did he meet? 1? Okay, so he doesn't have ADD. Let's move on. And they're finding out like, oh yeah, we are just using this mental health stuff all willy-nilly and not actually paying attention to what it means. So it's a valuable lesson, but it also, they go in this with these preconceived ideas of what these characters represent. And it's like, I guarantee A.A. Milne wasn't sitting down around World War I, post World War I, going, I think these characters need disorders. I think they're just characters, and that's it. Mm-hmm. But it was an awesome week, a lot of fun, a lot of challenges, a lot of growth, not a lot of sleep, but we're going to try to work on that tonight. How was your week?
Yeah, wow, that was jam-packed, man. I was going to ask if your week classified as in it was good until it wasn't situation, but it sounds like we need to have criteria for this. I know, like, for the good part, does that have to be a week, a month? This can apply to jobs, relationships. It doesn't. This is not a good description of your week. It just started out really exciting, and then quickly it just got busy.
Well, I think busy. Yes, busy, frantic, busy.
Yeah, not bad.
Stuff I didn't consider because it was like, all right, I saw the calendar. We have a thing happening on Friday. We have the senior capstone. April. So in my head, it was like, all right, we got to get a crew. I'm hardly in the auditorium. I'm only in there for 1 hour out of the day. And then I'm in there for my prep, but my co-teacher isn't always in there for the prep, and we don't have any kids in there for the prep. So by the time I get involved, a lot of the times kids are already chosen to do tech stuff. And I go like, all right, cool. Well, we got our crew, we have ushers, and there's not really much left for me to do. And then I find out later, oh, we're actually doing light cues and programming things, and sound's going to be a lot of different movement. And there's actually it's a production now rather than they need basic stuff. And I did not know that. So I was looking forward to a relaxing Friday evening. And what I got was we just did a production. So
Yeah,
it
you
was,
sent me that voice memo 9:30, and full disclosure to everyone out there, I was asleep by 9:30, so I did not see this nor listen to
yeah.
the voice memo until the next morning. But you sent me, I think it was like a 9:29
Yep.
timestamp.
It
I'm just
was,
putting all your business. I'm putting all your
no, I
business out
sent
there.
that voice.
This
I was going to
is
say, I sent that
good.
voicemail to you as I was walking to the car.
Yes, you
I got
did.
in the car. You could hear the car start in the voice memo.
My
Everything.
favorite
Yeah.
kind of voice memos.
Yes.
Point being 9:30, let's
Yep.
call it, on a Friday night.
Yeah.
I said, this man is truly a grinder. This is how much he cares.
But
Still,
I had
even after the
two
musical,
students with me, man.
the
They just
grind,
wanted to know, they wanted to
doesn't
talk.
stop.
We were talking about next year, and we were talking about
That's
like,
exciting.
you know, they were telling me what they want to do and how they want to get involved and stuff like that. So it was all positive.
That's
Yeah,
great.
late night, but whatever.
Yeah,
I got
but
to
also
be in the theater.
you're trying to get home eventually and
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
say hi to your fam and
Yeah,
get some
they were all
sleep.
curled up on the couch watching stuff I didn't want to be watching anyway. So it ended up being me going like, all right, cool. I'm going to go eat these crunchy chips in the other room. And I shut the door and watched something. I watched the season finale of Reacher on my phone. Really
I've heard
need
good
to.
things about that show.
I love the show. I'm not sure if you would like it, but no, I think you would like it. You like Fast and the Furious. So
I love Brad Winchester. I love Fast and the Furious.
yeah, so the standards aren't very high, is what you're saying. So I think you would really like this. I think you should check it out. I think you would like it a lot.
Okay, good to know. You're the second person to co-sign that show, so that's promising. Yeah, the week was good, man. It was really productive. We had an event for transfer students. So at the university, something I learned fairly quickly is that, particularly at the undergraduate level, you really have two different demographics that you are serving. Very different demographics. You have first year students. Largely, this is us visiting high schools and getting folks in, but you also have adult learners who are coming to college for the first time. Super cool. And then you have transfer students, and often their needs, their interests, their questions vary drastically from first year students. Transfers don't necessarily care about the team's football record or how shiny the bookstore is. They want to know, how long is it going to take me to graduate?
Yeah.
And how much does this thing cost? So we're trying to do our best to serve a very diverse, important population. So to that end, we had an event for transfer students. Really great questions were asked. It's really, to me, it feels so good, Brad, because it's all about not only getting folks to invest in themselves and pursue their bachelor's degree and go back to school or continue in their collegiate journey, but I have the privilege of working with folks who want to work in education. And so that just every day, truly, not just saying that, if anyone I work with hears this, every day, truly, it feels like a privilege to be able to support the next generation of Arizona's teachers and beyond. We have lots of Sun Devils from out of state. So the week was good. Transfer event went well. And somehow we're preparing for April. In fact, this is the last gimmick infringement of March. So like you, I'm starting to prepare for the inevitable finals week and the end of another school year and all that comes with that.
And WrestleMania, we got that coming up this month too. We got a lot. There's so much happening, man. And not far after that, we'll be at a pay-per-view event in Phoenix.
Double or nothing.
It's Phoenix, right? Not Glendale. Phoenix.
It's Glendale.
It's Glendale.
That's okay. That's okay. Brad, you are right.
Oh, I get to go. I can't wait to go back in there and be sad that I can see the Coyotes logo above the urinals in the bathroom.
Desert Diamond Arena is I like it though.
That was nice.
The experience is less stressful, in my opinion, than downtown. It's just easier to navigate.
Way easier.
Parking is quick. It's a vibe out of
and less expensive.
And less expensive.
Yeah, there is that.
Less
too.
expensive.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
$35
You know we are going to be reporting our experience. We're going to bring it back to GI. I'm very excited, like you said. WrestleMania in a few weeks. Of course, we're going to talk Dynasty. We have AEW Dynasty on Sunday somehow. Yes. Double or Nothing in May. There is so much good happening, and I'm excited that we get to share this not only together, but with our amazing audience.
Well, at some point, you and I are going to have to talk about Dynasty. I have a feeling that might be coming up, so we can pick who we think are going to be the winners. Speaking of picks, the second half of the basketball season is here, and the race to the playoffs is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. Don't miss your chance to cash in as the league's best fight for playoff positioning takes place. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed when you use the promo code CLNS. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts and is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. Prize Picks is truly the best way to win real money with all the various opportunities to play and collect your winnings. Due to the enormous selection of players and stat types available, we can mix and match our playing strategies based on personal preferences. I might take Cade Cunningham for more than 7 assists, and Tyler might select Kevin Durant for more than 27 points. Do you think Steph Curry will get more than 5 3-pointers next week? Giannis for more than 35 points? I'm sure we're going to be talking WNBA soon too. Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this basketball season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. And for those who love a quick win, Prize Picks is the way to go. You can make your picks and submit your entry in less than 60 seconds. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Remember, with Prize Picks, it's as simple as picking more or picking less. Again, that's promo code CLNS to get $50 after you play your first $5 lineup. Gimmick infringement is rocking with Prize Picks, and you should too. Prize Picks, run your game. That was clean. That was flawless.
That was fantastic. Like the great teacher you are, you prepare for the unexpected, and you just roll with it. Thank you, Brad Winchester. Thank you, Prize Picks.
Tyler, also, thank you. Thank you for this t-shirt. Shout out to the Wrestling Guy store. Tyler, you said that there would be more. Last week you gave us a teaser. You said there'd be more on that later. And then I got a tee several days later in the mail. And here we are. I'm wearing the tee. It fits nicely. I see a Winnie hair on my shirt. Gone. Like my place on the dock when I was trying to read off of it. That got me so bad. It was like, it was just suddenly, I was like,
huge screenshot. It was a bad screenshot, which we'll bring up later, but it took up about half of a Google Doc page. Yeah, it was a lot.
Well, it popped up and suddenly I was looking at the Sports Podcast Awards shortlist. And I got so scared. I was like, this isn't part of the read. I don't remember this being in there.
No, you handled it perfectly.
I thought
I'm proud of you.
I thought I pressed something.
No, this is me.
I turned 43 in May, Tyler. I thought this was it. I thought this was like the moment where you go, this is the moment I know I'm old. Like right now, something happened.
May is going to be a seminal month.
It's going to be great. We do need to talk WWE though. Wow. Listen, have they been perfect? No, but Raw and SmackDown have been on some really good moments over the last couple of weeks. This tour, as much as I think I'd like to see it in the States, is awesome because the crowd reaction is great. I see a lot of chatter online, Tyler, about how like, oh yeah, the United States needs all the States crowds. They need to bring it. These crowds are really bringing it. It's like, yeah, well, these crowds are only bringing it once. They're here all the time. So also I agree. They're not in Phoenix all the time. They're not in Tucson really ever. They're not in
I was thinking about that the other day. It's been a minute. It's been since that house show in July 2022. That's the last time I stopped in Tucson.
What's a space that can house them right now?
Yeah. I remember going to SmackDown at the Tucson Convention Center back in 2019, I want to say. That's the last time they had a televised event there.
It's just so small. Mm-hmm. It's too small. They'd either have to do an outdoor show or and even McHale is too small. So I don't know where
that would be interesting. Maybe AEW makes a stop to the McHale Center at U of A. That would be a
awesome.
vibe. That would be awesome. I would have to pull up for that.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of places you could do it out other than like I got nothing. There's really no place in Tucson. They need to build a facility out here so we can get some Cactus League back here, maybe another minor league team, put it up north in Marana so that it's less of a drive to Phoenix. And I think that this area could really grow and do some really cool stuff with it. I said that side of the mountain on the other side, in between the interstate and Dove Mountain, perfect spot to put a facility so we could watch some WWE, maybe some Broadway shows, do something that's a little bit less than let's go to Centennial, pal. Tyler, hit me with your question.
All right, here we go. Arguably, this has become my favorite part of the show, Brad. It's Steph Watch. Steph Watch. Stephanie Vaquer made history by successfully defending both of her NXT titles last week, defeating Jada Parker and Fallon Henley in 2 separate matches. I think the play for Stand and Deliver is Steph versus Jordan Grace for the NXT Women's Championship, and Steph in a multi-women's match for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Maybe they bring back the ladder match, how this title originally began. She was also the guest of honor at UFC Mexico City.
Yeah.
And she turned 32, all within the last week. It's her world. We are just blessed to live in it, Brad Winchester. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled program. Here's my question. As a wrestling fan, how important is it for you that a title match main event night 2 of WrestleMania? Because I think the Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins triple threat is juicier than John Cena versus Cody Rhodes right now.
Okay, so how am I feeling about it being night 2?
Yeah, has that been made official? Do we know for sure it's going to be night? Because to me, it's giving Cena Rhodes night 1 for the title, night 2 triple threat, no title on the line. I can't remember.
I thought Paul didn't Paul say night 1?
It's going to be a main. I don't recall that. I know he said you're going to main event WrestleMania. I don't know if I know we've had different speculation online. I don't know that we have definitively, if we've heard one way or the other, how it's going to work.
Let's see. I can feel like
would you be okay with triple threat, no title on the line?
It's the triple threat's going to be night 1. Paul did say it. He's going to be, you're going to finish the show night 1.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Paul,
because to me,
I thought he did. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but
I'm just going to say this, Brad. I'm a traditionalist. I want a title match to be 2 main events. I'm not mad at anyone on that. I'm not going to hate on anyone's game. But to me, the main event is the night 2. I'm a traditionalist. I want a title on the line, but I'm far more invested in the triple threat than I am Cody and Cena right now. But I know you've really enjoyed Cena's promos.
Less so this last time. They're starting to get a little bit overlapping. I'm starting to go like, all right, well,
you're making this.
Yeah, so
you're making this so easy for me.
Yeah. Right? I'm trying to see here. Man, I swear it was sad. So if not night 2, Cena Rhodes makes the most sense in terms of tradition, I think.
Oh, tradition wise, yeah. But your investment,
in terms of investment, the opposite is true. That triple threat match is the main event. It's the people's main event, no matter what happens. Yeah. So I believe that. One sec. I just saw that. Who's the link? Let's see. Oh, the link was Wikipedia. Not great. So
your academic source. But Cena, Brad, this particularly for this year, the argument for Cena Rhodes, if that is in fact going to be the night 2 main event, it's the history that's on the line. It's not just a title match.
Yeah.
It is you brought up moments earlier. It is the moment of John Cena breaking that record, which I for sure think is going to happen. I don't know about you.
Okay, so I guess you are right. And Paul Heyman did say that it was going to be just one of them is going to be main eventing one of the nights. And it didn't say which one. I saw on the Wikipedia page, I don't know what the source was, that it would be night 1. I swear I remember it saying night 1. Maybe he said one of the nights and it just tased me or something. But yeah, look at night 1. It's Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. That I think was confirmed by Randy in the social promo that he did. I don't know if you saw it. He got very close to the camera and basically said, fine, it's going to be the, what is it? The pile driver versus punt match. He's like, I'm going to kick your head off or out of the stadium to Kevin Owens. And that'll be night 1. That sounds
like a threat. And I could see that opening night 1.
And it sounds like night 2 is going to be Cody and Cena, and night 1 is going to be the triple threat. I believe that's what I don't know who confirmed it. Maybe I'm full of crap here. If you know, let us know. Otherwise, I'll probably check compulsively later and then just sit and sink into my error, and that would be fine. But to your point and to answer your question, I think the triple threat should be the night 2 main event. It's the biggest thing to end it. There's just so many stories going there. But I also think that Rollins and Reigns deserve their own night main event without CM Punk being involved at all. To his point, he is super detached from it, but he's also not. There's the Paul Heyman thread. There's he's the one that brought in the Shield thread. Rollins hating Punk because of what he represents. Rollins hating Reigns because Reigns is like the chosen one, but Rollins feeling like, oh, I always have to clean up after what you do to make sure that this place stays thriving and stays alive because you were just killing everything we tried to build constantly. And the only reason you're like this now is because of me. And I really love all that thread. And then Roman just going like, you're the reason I have trust issues and why I think I just need to do my own thing and kill everybody. And if you're not in it, you're an enemy. And it's so good. But it's also a lot of what they have is just there. They have me, I think, convinced enough to not question whether or not Jey slipped for that spear, and then it was a planned slip. I think it was probably a planned slip. It seems like it, but I don't know if it was a planned slip or Gunther's just really good at covering. I have no idea. I think it was probably planned because Cole saying like, yeah, the last couple of weeks, this has been happening here. That is such a stale feud. I'm so bored.
I was about to bring that up. Speaking of tradition, hasn't the Royal Rumble always been advertised as the winner of the match is not only going to WrestleMania to challenge for a title,
main events,
but is the main event? I can swear that back in January when Tiffany Stratton won, and certainly when Jey Uso won, that was a part of the packages. Yep. I'm pretty sure they said on commentary, they are going to the main event. Yep. with an asterisk, like card subject to change, because I agree with you. Cody Rhodes, Cena, and then the triple threat, those are the two hottest programs going into WrestleMania, unquestionably. Tiff and Charlotte are going to shine. Jey Uso and Gunther, I'm sure, are going to have a great match. But it's interesting. I sort of yearn for that time period when the WrestleMania winner, or now winners, they guaranteed themselves to be in the biggest spot on the card. And this year, I don't want to go full into saying false advertising because I think it's right that these are going to be the two main events. But what happened to? I thought I was sold. Was I sold a false package there, Brad?
I feel the same way because it's like the Royal Rumble winner gets to pick who to fight because there's too many belts, and that winner chooses and goes to the main event. I swear that's what it was. But what about Elimination Chamber? Is that also a main event, or is it just you get to challenge? Because if that's the case, then Bianca can't main event, and who won? Cena can't be in the main event,
right?
That would be crazy to not have John Cena and Cody Rhodes be the main event.
They're doing what's best for business. Cena is doing what's best for business.
But that should be Jey Uso's spot based on the qualifications from the Rumble, but also the way they've kind of like secondarily side built this feud up, which feels more about Jimmy and Jey than about Jey and Gunther. It's like they did it and then went, oh, well, April's a really long way off. Let's just really stretch this out as much as possible and have everybody be really bored. It's just not good. It's really, really boring. I have nothing good to say about it, which sucks because Jey winning was so good. All of it. I think we're ready to see him have, even if it's a brief one, see him have a title reign. I think that story would be a really cool conclusion. And they'll cut up the pre-match package to make it be super exciting. And then it'll do that for us, I hope. But what I'm worried about happening is they book it the way they booked Jey and Jimmy last year, which was just not deserving of that. Jey deserves better, and he deserves better at WrestleMania. Gunther deserves better because they're both awesome, and they're probably going to have a really good match. It's probably going to be a lot of fun. They have very good chemistry together, so I'm looking forward to it. It's just I wish the story going in was better. It's the expectation is a lot higher for that kind of thing in WWE than in AEW. In AEW, I'm expecting the good match, and I hope the story comes along for the ride and makes me be invested in the match. This is like all match and a little bit. They're trying to do an AEW thing when sitting next to it is John Cena and Cody Rhodes and legacy and a combined 35 years or 40 years in the business or whatever it is. And then you have a triple threat match against a previous biggest star in the business, a current biggest star in the business, and somebody who's always been in the main event picture and is a multi-time champion. And all of their stories are interconnecting wonderfully. And oh, by the way, Iyo Sky is getting mad disrespected as champion. And then they finally leaned into it as a story element, which I appreciated. But the women's champs just seem like such an afterthought right now. Like the story right now is Bianca versus Rhea. Io's the champ.
Right.
It's
right.
crazy.
I mean, you and I called for, I'm not going to walk back what I said in a previous episode. I don't know if it's too obvious, Brad, but Paul Heyman turning on Roman, CM Punk wins that main event feels like the move to me. However, I am not going to defer from my prediction of Iyo Sky winning at WrestleMania. I don't think Seth is going to win that triple threat, unfortunately, but I think Iyo Sky, I think she must and she will win at Mania. I do not see her dropping the title. Her being, to your point about the potential Iyo disrespect, her being a transitional champ just to drop it at Mania, I think that would do more harm to her character than good. Meanwhile, contrast that with her going into Mania as the champ, like she did last year, but this time retaining, they could do a lot for her.
Tyler, what I want to have happen is Iyo retain. Everybody's beat up in the ring. Iyo wins. She's tired. She raises the belt, gets a big cheer. Steph's music hits. Tyler, my question for you, what a way to debut her onto the main roster. That means she's got to lose some titles here soon. But I don't know if that'll happen. I don't think that'll happen, but they got her at UFC. They got her doing all this stuff. You heard the pop at the Rumble. Like it's been time. Okay. My question, Punk, Rollins, Reigns, Tribal Chief OTC, had a contract signing in London. Every person made good points. Every person has a reason to be there and want to fight the others. CM Punk finally got his main event announcement. That was a really cool moment. Having it come from Paul Heyman, that was so cool. Little over the top, but it's wrestling. Tyler, my question is, who is the biggest winner from the contract signing? And did this meter exceed your expectations as far as a contract signing goes?
Wow. It definitely exceeded it. And in part because of that crowd, as you mentioned, that this global tour they've been on, it doesn't feel like I'm tuning in to watch a wrestling event. It feels like a concert now. And WWE has so many superstars with
Great
songs that are just give that concert vibe. You start with Randy, right, to open SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then later on, and for all three guys, they have bops. CM Punk, Cult of Personality, Seth Rollins, people are going to sing. Roman Reigns, people are going to find a way to serenade him. And of course, the ones in the air. It's all brilliant. Definitely exceeded my expectations. When it comes to your question of who won it, part of me wants to go Roman because he was really healing it up on SmackDown. It was a reminder that, wait, the Tribal Chief didn't change anything. He just disappeared for a few months. We missed him, and then we gave him a hero's reception. But he was telling people, yeah, that's right. You should acknowledge me. This is Roman Reigns. I am him. Yeah. There's nothing inherently babyface about that. So the fact that we are still at his beck and call, giving him his flowers, I want to give him the win just for that. But it has to be CM Punk. Him coming to coming to WWE from AEW. We knew it was going to be a massive deal, but I would imagine, as you pointed out, Brad, professionally, personally, for him to get that main event, we know how much apparently that means to him on and off screen. The fact that he's getting it, and it's not even involving a title. I for sure thought he would be in a title match if he was going to get this main event, likely the foe against Cody Rhodes. But the fact that he'd even need a title program to make this goal happen, and yet he is involved in the match that, as of this recording, I'm most invested in for Mania. And I predict he's going to win this match. And Paul Heyman is going to turn on his Tribal Chief. There are wins everywhere, but if we're just looking at the contract signing, to me, it's got to be CM Punk. And I would say he's at least for me, the odds-on favorite to actually leave Mania with the win. And then, Seth and Roman can probably fight into eternity. But I think CM Punk's going to get that win. He's going to have Paul Heyman on his side. And I think from there, he's going to be chasing gold in short time. CM Punk is my answer.
Yeah, that one's going to be really interesting because I also feel like if Paul switches sides, that's going to be the heel turn for Punk.
Yeah.
Right?
Is it too obvious, or is this clearly the move?
I feel like it's the move.
It has to be, right?
Yeah, because you don't want to Roman's finally a babyface, like a babyface that people want. You can't take that away. Like he was a babyface, but not a beloved one.
No, after you. Yeah.
No. Like that's really it. I think to me the winner it's got to be CM Punk, but I almost want to go Paul Heyman. Paul was because everybody's talking about what Paul Heyman's going to do. Not even the night one, the favor Paul owes and Paul interacting with
the favor is the reason to tune in.
Exactly. That's the whole
Paul Heyman's a great choice. I love that.
Paul Heyman walked away looking incredible in here, which is the most underrated part of the story is Paul's there. There's a fourth person that we're not talking about nearly enough, but he said it on Raw. Punk said it on Raw that he's not just your wise man, and it's so good. We had 2 contract signings this week, and both of them were wins. My favorite one was Monday nights because Adam Pearce is a treasure. It wasn't really a contract signing. It was like not a contract signing. It was like hey, that contract sign that you did, Rhea. It doesn't matter. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Music would hit. Watching him get really frustrated throughout the whole segment and then get super pissed and leave, and then be even madder backstage when Bianca showed up, who was getting booed a lot, by the way.
I think that lady at the Wrestling Guy store really put it out in the ether. I didn't even get her reason for why she doesn't like Bianca Belair. It's just a blasphemous thing to say in public. But maybe she's really leaning into this character shift, and maybe that was kind of maybe that was an omen, Brad, is she really set the tone for how people are feeling. They want to boo Bianca.
But she's got the Healy NXT vibes going, but
we've been asking for that. She's
been showing her character more and not just hitting us with standard catchphrases.
Right.
She did that for a while.
And she's good at it. She's great at it.
She would like recite the T, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's great. But also like we get to see some character out of her rather than just catchphrases. Mm-hmm. And clearly she's more than that. And she always has been. And we're getting to see it a little bit here. She looks free. She looks like she's having fun.
Yeah. Greatest wrestler alive. That's always my tagline for Bianca.
When you take Iyo, who is an underdog and an incredible wrestler, and she's the champ and all these things, people are behind her. And then you take Rhea, people are behind her. And then you have Bianca. Well, people are behind her, but I don't know if they're behind her as much as Rhea. So she just becomes the default villain in the story because you have this beloved underdog and then Rhea Ripley. And now, well, who do I cheer for? Well, if I'm not going to cheer, I'm going to boo. And I think that might be what's happening there because it's like there's no reason for anybody to boo her. She's right. She did win Elimination Chamber. She did earn her spot there. And Rhea didn't earn anything. She lost and never had a rematch. She's getting her rematch. I think that's cool. I just hope they don't undo the triple threat. I hope there's some interference or tomfoolery that makes it have to happen. Pierce steps in. Fine. You want it? Fine. You got it. And then it'll be the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, these are 3 of your biggest stars, not only in the division, but really in the company. I think Io's ascended to that level. She's great in ring. She's really resonated with the audience over the last year. And we already know Bianca and Rhea have been on that tier for years. Yeah. You got to make that official.
And the most important thing too, I think from that, this is just from a show standpoint for us, the audience, is that we get more of our stars on the screen in a match at the biggest event of the year, but fewer matches to have to build that out. So they get to have a little bit more time in the ring, but they also get to be, we don't have to watch 15,000 matches because, there's the WWE is so good at adding stuff in between where it's like, let's cut up to the Miz in the audience, or we'll go over to this thing backstage, or they're really good with that. That's where AEW has always struggled, in my opinion, where it's like, no, it's just match, no breaks. Sometimes you need R-Truth to come out and say something silly. Sometimes something needs to happen, right? I'm just super excited for this. This contract signing ruled. Paul Heyman's awesome. all the talent in the match. It's going to be so good, dude. I'm so hyped for the 19th and the 20th. And we didn't even talk about AEW yet. And I'm super excited about that. I hope you didn't make a very collision centric question for me. I have a feeling you might have, but I sure did. Before we get there though, Tyler, we got to talk Batch. I got curious and checked after it happened. I had to go look and see what the outcome was. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. It's time for a roast from Tyler. Hit the music.
And now for a rose from GI's most eligible bachelor.
Where to begin? I was right. The people were right. Juliana pulled off the upset. Even as I'm saying this, it's still hard to fathom that the underdog story came true. Brad, the
Iyo in Bachelor.
Very much so. It's the year of the underdog. I'm not completely mad at it. So Juliana did it. She pulled off the upset. Grant broke up with Litia and proposed to her. 51% of our audience called it. They knew Juliana was going to win. We discussed this last week. And really what I want to focus on for the final rose from this season 29, is it's all about Litia. The Litia breakup at the altar. Grant said, Litia, I love you very much. I want to give you everything you deserve, but I'm not your person. And then cut to Litia, and she just, she is surprised, to say the least. Grant continues, I'm sorry to have gotten to this point. My emotional connection is stronger somewhere else. Litia asks, when did it change? You're different than I thought. If I were Juliana, I would have questions after the things you've said to me. Yikes. And then Litia also adds, the switch up is crazy. I'm confused and I'm sad and I'm mad. She ultimately gets in the limo and they say goodbye to each other. And then they were back on screen together as these finales go. Jesse Palmer welcomed them back, and they had their time on the couch to talk through things in front of a live audience. And we could still see that Litia is still confused and sad and mad. And really the critique of Grant here was, and Litia said this on air, Brad, during the after the Rose gimmick, was Grant gave her reassurance at several points throughout the season. We did not see this as viewers, but she said it, and Grant did not dispute this. Grant gave her reassurance that you are the one, saying things like, I wish you could just fast forward to the end. I know you're my wife. Litia accused Grant of during the hometown date, telling Latia's family she is the one, and I just want to, I know she is my person.
Damn.
And again, Grant did not dispute this. He did apologize. What else are you going to say if you're Grant on that stage? So not a full villain arc for Grant, but definitely some questions of like, you
didn't hit it with a, I lied.
I lied. He did not. He did not turn
That's
heel,
good.
in my opinion. Let us know what you think out there. We're going to have a State of the Union on men later during Trap Tales, but this was important because I don't know what it is, Brad, if we're just missing this gene or this chromosome as guys, but communication. It seems to be a struggle for many of us. Grant clearly was not ready for falling for multiple people. He thought it was Litia from apparently week 2 or week 3, as we've discussed on this segment. But as time progressed, the connection with Juliana grew, and he discerned Juliana is my person. We know we're not getting a Bachelorette for the rest of 2025, but I believe
that's so crazy still.
It's crazy. I don't know if Litia is going to want to be the lead for the next Bachelorette, but she has a compelling case. She's stunning. The crowd, viewers were totally Team Litia in this instance. If she wants it, I think it's hers. Brad, last thing I want to say, then I want to get your thoughts. You and I spoke about this. I think if we also consider the LDS element of this, Litia maybe being too ready to start a family, in Grant's opinion, throwing that out there, I think that actually worked against her and really led Grant to look at other options. And it just so happened that his bond with Juliana was growing simultaneously. So, man, it's a trip. I'm still processing it all, but perhaps we shouldn't have been too surprised because the signs were all there that Litia maybe wasn't the full blown front runner we thought she was.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Are we missing that chromosome? The communication one?
Maybe it's complicated. You ever have feelings for more than one person before? I mean, that could get complicated, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, especially when
I
you're
don't
doing it
know
on
that it would
national
be like,
TV,
yeah,
not just in the DMs.
like, man, Cotton 4K, right? All of that stuff. It's
rough.
online and it's forever.
Yeah, it's rough.
People are listening. It's the Cat Williams. You know, I can hear you, right? Like it's just,
no doubt.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I find that wild. I don't know. Going into that, like having that knowledge, this is what I would want to know. Does that moment and all the things that were said and sort of like the investigative reporting that happened here with the family members, does that get reported to the other contestant before the proposal?
Right. And that was Latia's point, Brad, and she said it, if I were Juliana, I would have questioned. So as Juliana's watching the season back, to your point, does that impact the status of her relationship with Grant? It seems like no, they seem very happy and they're making the media rounds. But that's got to be tough for all parties to watch it back, for Grant to watch it back, for Juliana to watch it back, for Litia to watch it back. That's a phenomenal point by you.
Man, this show's so gross. Like all of it makes me mad. It makes me uncomfortable.
Like a relic. The proposal part, you and I have talked about this. The proposal part I don't think they're ever going to get rid of it. It's such an essential part of the gimmick.
Yeah, otherwise it wouldn't be Bachelor. It would just be Guy.
And maybe Grant, to his credit, maybe he didn't have an issue with potentially embracing a new religion, because if Latia's right, and he said those words during the hometown visit after tug of war, after realizing that him and Litia were the only people of color in this, dozens of folks that were out on this, I think it was this Montana farm. Maybe he had no issue with that. The relationship with Litia was so strong. But Brad, I told you in the moment, all love and respect to Litia, it was giving Get Out, and I just had a feeling that I told you I was trying to be vulnerable, and I said I don't think this brother's gonna go with that. I just don't think he's gonna. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna work out. But I could totally see Litia being the next Bachelor. I think she'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That might actually get me to tune in. I would want to see what that would look like. Did they lead into the LDS of it all? I don't know. Tyler, let's get into AEW. A lot to talk about. I have a feeling I know where this is headed, and I'm sad. So I'm sure I'm not going to have a lot to read on my notes, but I doubt we didn't overlap here.
There's only one way to find out. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
First, so much of what we're speaking about, Brad, on this episode is making me so happy. We began with Steph Watch. We're talking about WrestleMania. We're talking about Batch. I want to add to that. Add to the good vibes. First off, a big congratulations to the Jet, Kevin Knight.
Yes.
Following his Collision match against Jay White, Tony Khan announced that Knight is all elite. Mm-hmm. The contract has been signed. The New Japan star appeared on TNA and Ashe throughout 2024. I think he's an absolute gem. I cannot wait for what's ahead. He is so talented. The best is yet to come. Okay, Brad, AEW Dynasty is this weekend. As much as I'd love to see Swerve be the one to dethrone Jon Moxley, especially after that promo duel in the ring on Dynamite, I think the champ retains. Given Megan Bayne's pinfall win on Dynamite, I think Timeless Toni Storm successfully defends her title as well.
Yeah.
You are the biggest FTR fan I know. Thus, my question focuses on them. With continued teases of dissension, what would you like to see ahead for the top guys? Are they becoming trios champs with Cope this weekend in Philly? Are they turning on Cope? Are these guys going to fight each other and they're pursuing singles careers? What say you?
I doubt it. Dax has had like injuries and back issues and knee issues. He's been competing with those for years now. I wonder if he's considering hanging it up. I think Cash is about the same age, but a little younger, and his body hasn't been through it quite the same way. So if this ends up being like an APA situation where the turn isn't really a turn, it's because one of them has to retire. Maybe that's what's going on here. I hope. I actually don't mind if they become trios champions. I don't think they will. I think them turning on Cope would be the thing I would want to see. I like heel FTR. I think it would be a nice bolt of lightning for those two too, and give them something better to do. And maybe the people that come in to try to stop them at that point would be a returning Young Bucks. We get them again. Maybe that's all done because they said they were going to be done after that. But I wouldn't hate to see that again. They have magic in the ring with each other. But it would be nice to have them flip again. I also think that turning on Edge, Cope, could lead to a flip there, and maybe that's the avenue in for a reunion with Christian Cage, and then we get those two tagging against FTR, which would be awesome. I don't know. Right now, I've just like the whole tag division is so. I'm just so bored in AEW. They're doing stuff, but I just don't care about any of it. Like, wow, Top Flight, who's been practically non-existent, is feuding with Leo Rush and Action Andretti. Wow, sign me up. Yeah, I don't care. I have no reason to care. They will have a match that will be like incredible, right? Like physically incredible to look at. And I have 0% reason to care about any of it. And that sucks. I don't know how to fix that other than give them a story. Leo and whatever they're calling themselves, Leo and Action are just sort of like appearing, saying heel stuff, beating people up sometimes, but like they're just irritating. What's their thing? Oh, they're irritating. What's their reason to be irritating? Because they're irritating. Like, give me something, anything, literally anything. FTR gets dusted off to do triple threats, and occasionally they do tag stuff, but like it's they've been doing triple threat stuff forever. I feel like. When's the last time you remember them? They're in a tag match, like a tag match.
It's been a minute. Yeah, I think about one of the first Dynamites of the year. I think this was the first one of the Max era. They main evented with Cope, to take on Mox and two of his guys, and it was a big deal. Rated FTR's here. Before that, was it FTR versus Young Bucks 5? It was a revolution, but All In.
The Wrestle Private Party? I can't remember.
I don't think so. I remember Bucks FTR, and I want to say that match happened at All In London last year, if I'm not mistaken.
I wouldn't hate a singles run for either of them, but also,
but your idea of heel FTR versus Cope and Christian, to me, that's giving All In Texas.
Yeah,
100%. I think they, as they continue to tease the potential matchups we could see at All In Texas, whether that's Athena versus Mercedes, Will Ospreay versus Swerve or Mox, you need to build that show around, oh my gosh, I have to tune in, or if I'm in the area, I have to go to the Rangers ballpark to see this. Cope and Christian versus FTR, to me, it would give that, I have to tune in, because
people would buy that ticket.
Yeah, because one of the greatest tag teams of all time is returning to face arguably the greatest tag team of a generation. That seems likely to me, but are you really going to break up rated FTR so quickly? To me, it seems like they just formed not too long ago. You printed those T-shirts and we were off to the races. I feel like we haven't seen them in trios action enough to already break them up. But maybe this is a case of you'd rather pivot too early than too late.
Like building the Judgment Day.
Like building the Judgment Day. I don't think the Death Rider. I worry that the Death Riders is going to be another pay-per-view that's going to come and go with all the Death Riders retaining. Maybe we even get Marina Shafir versus Willow Nightingale added. I would love that person.
The Death Riders are being treated like NWO, but they're being treated like NWO if NWO had no Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, or Hulk Hogan in it. Like it's the NWO with
that's tough.
It's NWO if the only leader in there was Randy Savage. Like awesome.
That's a heck of a.
But like John Moxley in this case is Randy Savage leading this group, because everybody after that is like
great promo with Swerve, by the way, on Dynamite. I thought that was one of his strongest.
Yeah,
in this new John Moxley Death Riders.
Well, he's always great at that.
They sold me a ticket.
Yeah,
they sold me a ticket. I
And
said, oh,
no
okay, this is
disrespect or
great.
anything to John Moxley. I just feel like the booking is like,
Yeah.
I still don't understand why I should care.
Yeah. It had so much potential as well.
Yeah.
I think you got the right guy at the helm. You got the right guy with the belt or wherever the belt is, if it still exists. We've only seen a briefcase. I just think Dynasty, there could potentially be some real pivots
Yeah.
on this show. I just don't know. I'm very confident that they're going to happen. Number one on my mind being 1 year later, does Swerve again break through and become the champ? I don't know if it's Darby. I don't know if it's Will Ospreay, but I'm just thinking Mox. I don't think he drops the title in Glendale at Double or Nothing. I think we're going to ride this wave until All in Texas. I really do.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody. Maybe they save it and maybe they do something crazy and unexpected. And I can see Mox doing that. Maybe he holds it until Forbidden Door and a New Japan guy takes it.
Wow, we got to wait till June for that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be a long year. I really enjoyed the work with him and Swerve, though, and the fact that this Wednesday we're getting that mixed tag match, presumably the main event involving Marina. Finally, Marina in ring, and then anytime is a good time to see Willow Nightingale in action. I'm excited about it.
I just feel like whenever you have a stable, there's always supposed to be a let's help other people grow and get bigger and get popular in the stable. They get the rub. I don't know that Blackpool Combat Club or this group have done anything for Wheeler Yuta. He's just sort of there and he's like the fall guy. And I like the story. Like he's conflicted and does it anyway. Like he's been brainwashed. I do like that. And I enjoy that. And I think that eventual turn, maybe that's his moment and we get him back. Cause he was pretty hot for a minute and then it just sort of petered out with all the Danielson stuff. So,
he was.
And then it just sort of got ice cold for the entire time since then. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping for good things because I really like Wheeler. Love all these guys.
Totally. The talent
and I'm glad Marina Shafir's on my screen.
Finally.
Finally been screaming about it.
I also think why I'm leaning toward FTR turning on Cope as soon as this weekend is because rather than rated FTR dethroning Death Riders to become trios champs, I really think the play is going to be the Ops being the guys to take them down.
That'd be awesome.
Joe, Hook, Shibata, I think they need that rub more than rated FTR does, especially if you can flip that. And the long-term play would be, again, Cope and Christian versus FTR. Okay, that's a feud. Spotlighted, we're good. What are the Ops going to do? Just choke out Max Caster until the next school year? Until your first day at Marana? No, they should be the guys that take out Death Riders. We'll see what happens. A Dynasty, I'm super excited. Ricochet, Kenny, Speedball, the People's main event.
Oh, that's going to be nuts.
Yes, please.
That's the night one main event. Tyler, my question, speaking of main events, man, okay, it finally happened. Tyler, the Athena pop was all that I hoped for, because especially that crowd sounded terrible on screen. It was like, it sounded dead. I don't know if it's how they had it mic'd, but watching Mercedes try to suppress a smile when Athena made her entrance, she's supposed to be a bad guy, and she was like, so happy for her.
All elite women. Let's go.
Oh, it was so cool. Robin Renegade had a great outing. That was a fun match, and they gave her a lot of time out there. I thought that was great. And then like trying to protect Mercedes and just absolutely what are they calling it here? I can't remember what the name of her move is here.
The Moneymaker?
Yeah, no. Athena's.
Oh, the O face.
The O face.
That's the artist formerly known as the Eclipse.
Yes, I was like, I couldn't say Eclipse. I was like, it's not the what is it called?
The O-Face.
The O-Face,
Renegade sold that though. That's
what I was going to say. That was great.
Fun. One of my favorite parts about going to shows with you is how you and I can react to moves like,
yeah.
Very painful.
Being in the same room is a lot of fun. Yeah. Tony Storm had her face kicked off by Penelope Ford.
Great job.
Penelope Ford, not Ford, before being wrecked by Megan Bayne, and Jamie Hayter fought Billy Starks, dude. Jamie Hayter. That's all I have to say.
A springboard haterade?
That was crazy.
Are you kidding me, Jamie?
Everything.
Jamie's back.
Between how fast Tony hip attacked Penelope in the corner and Jamie Hayter coming back. Oh man, the women were thriving on Collision. Also, Tony's promo was great. Tyler, Women's wrestling on Collision was incredible. One of the biggest complaints, though, online, the IWC, was that Athena's pop was, quote, wasted, end quote, because it was on Collision. Tyler, what can AEW possibly do to make people come back and watch Saturdays?
Yeah. Well, number one, I recognize that at some point in my life that you can't make everyone happy. I think we know that as educators, and
I've heard that. Yeah,
I'm sure Tony Khan and company are aware of that. Someone's going to have an issue with what
everything
you do, one way or another. Yeah, especially in the social media algorithmic time that we live in. To make Collision more of a destination, it's a great question because we just spoke about this last week regarding Slam Dunk Saturday and Slam Dunk Sunday, but that was a very special opportunity for Collision. Just in general, what can make it destination viewing? Honestly, it's replicating the formula of what we saw this past weekend, Brad. This is one of my favorite collisions of the year. And it's interesting because you didn't necessarily need a bunch of title matches, although I'm certainly in favor of that on Saturdays. You didn't need a bunch of title matches or any of that. You had a long-awaited return, I guess we can say. Athena finally appearing back on AEW programming instead of being, I was going to say trapped on ROH respectfully. You had Kevin Knight, right? So you already had a match where, Kevin Knight versus Jay White.
A long one, too.
I'm definitely going to tune in to see that. But then after you had already planned, we're also going to make the announcement and give Kevin Knight that moment of, oh, hey, by the way, this dude who's uber talented and who we know is a free agent, he's signing with us. Great moment. Again, Athena was not too long after that. You had Mercedes Moné wrestling on Collision for the first time. She's been signed with the company for a year. Finally, this was an opportunity to take advantage of. Jamie Hayter, again, who is hugely popular with our audience. We want to see them work. Why not give Collision that rub to have these big moments? I thought they need to replicate that. I think they should replicate that formula of whether it's having MJF on Collision more often wrestling, in this case, Mercedes, right? Those people who we usually don't see on Saturdays. Let's get them on there more frequently. Let's have Hologram. Let's have Saturday nights be his showcase. I'm a huge Hologram fan. You had it like, it was just so, you already knew there were going to be so many layups. There were going to be so many easy wins for you on this show in terms of fan service. I think you need to plan ahead and replicate that formula moving forward. Mercedes is appearing. Jamie Hayter's going to main event. We had that cool camera shot where Tony Storm got, like, you just had these moments that you knew were going to hit. More of that for Collision, please. Oh, and by the way, Hologram, one of the most fun luchadors to watch on American television. He's also on the show, by the way. Yes, please. I'm going to sign up for that. It was great.
I will say Grande Americano might be the best luchador on the planet right now.
The Gulf of America. Okay.
Hailing from the Gulf of America. Poppy.
I'm really trying to.
So funny, man.
Yeah, they're aware, and we love Chad Gable. We do.
That was so. What do you mean?
If we're assuming who knows? Yeah. He says he's not.
It was so good.
It was great.
Just being named after this is. I got Americano in here. This is an Americano, and to be called Grande Americano, he's a Starbucks order as his wrestling name is just amazing, because it's just so stupid. I'm with you. I also think that some people might look at this the wrong way. On Collision, we got a lot of women doing matches, promos, all of those things, and I think some people might look at it and go like they're relegating the women to Saturday because not enough people watch. I think it's the opposite of that. I think women are a draw. The women's wrestling and the promos and stuff are as good, if not better, than a lot of the men's. And I'm not going to sit here and say that one is better than the other. Like, everybody has their preference. It's wrestling. You get to like what you like. I prefer watching women's matches a lot of the time, because the wrestling is more intriguing to me a lot of the time versus the men's matches where they end up getting a lot of the best stories, unfortunately, compared to what the women have going on. But I loved everything they were doing this week. I thought Collision was an awesome show. Dynamite was really good, but Collision's been a good show for a couple of months now, like 3 months maybe, where it's been like, yeah, this has been a really good show. This was the best Collision I remember in a while. And maybe it's because all of my favorite people were on it. Maybe it's because we got all these things.
That helps. Yeah.
We got Athena, we got Mercedes, we got Tony Storm. The way that promo, and that was, I guess we'll call it booked, that whole segment, perfect. Tony coming out and laying in the light when she stands up in the down lighting, having that pen light coming up from the front, and she had to walk forward for it to hit her light because we got the silhouette, but then you get to see her face when she gets close. To get a close-up shot of that boot hitting her right in the face. Perfect. That was not like, oh, the boot was a near miss. Now that boot hit her right in the face, and then it's Penelope looking right into the camera.
And you can't redo that again. No. That's live in the moment. I mean, you know this. I'm speaking to someone who lives this every semester.
So crazy.
You got to nail it in the moment, and they did.
It was great. But saying like, I'm worried, I've been dreaming that I'm going to end up in the ring laying like this, just like this at the end of that match. The belt's next to her and she's laying prone in the ring. Tyler, at the end of the segment, she was laying in the ring with the belt next to her, just like that, with Megan Bayne standing over her. That was beautiful. I thought that was so well done. The way that, it was all so good. So my question was sort of a rhetorical question, because it was like, what more could you possibly do to make people want to watch it? That show was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Queen Aminata and Serena Deeb backstage. So we're making Aminata a priority.
Did I love how that was executed? No, I did not. Am I invested in this?
Take this binder. Read this while you recover.
Yeah, it was a little bit clunky there with the delivery, but I also like, whatever. I want to see that. That eventual match is going to rule because they're going to hit the crap out of each other. That was great. I love that Queen Aminata is getting screen time. I love Serena Deeb. That show was, I can't say enough about that show, man. That was so fantastic. Good. We are in a golden age, I feel like, of just getting really, really great wrestling content on our screens. If we have subscriptions every week, working on that. Try not to watch the clips online. Yeah, it's difficult because subscriptions are really expensive, and my gym membership is a subscription that I'm still paying for and not utilizing. I'm trying to get back and onto a routine. It might be a summer thing, though. Tyler, for you, it's not a summer thing. I know it is a testosterone thing, though. I got a bit of a preview. I don't have any of the details. I can't wait to hear about this. It's time for Trap Tales. Cue up the music.
So I intentionally teased this earlier, and Brad, I'll have you know that who would have thought the LA Fitness near 59th and Bell Road in Glendale, Arizona, as treacherous as the NXT parking lot.
Oh no.
And here is why. There have been many trap tail segments we've had in the history of gimmick infringement. This is unlike any other because I'm here to report to you, last week there was nearly a fight at the gym, a legit fight. On the basketball court between two dudes. Now, granted, this is at 5:30 in the morning. What? Okay, here's how this went down. The local trainer coach figure had like 8 to 10 kids there on one half of the court. There's 6 hoops, one half of the court, 3 hoops included. They're occupying that space. So music is playing, Drake, Nokia, Future, expletives flying. You know about this. It always puts me in an interesting headspace to start the day. And they have kids as young as like 13 or 14.
That's crazy.
15. It's crazy. And then when I roll up there, there's already another grown man on the other side of the court. So I, put on my shoes and he's using the main court, and then there's 2 side hoops. So I sort of use the side hoops and do my thing or what have you. But he's there first, so he gets the main hoop. I prefer to share, but I'm learning that people don't do that. If you get there early, you have the rights. Cool. So two students or 2 kids that are there for the training, they're probably maybe 15 or 16, Brad. They show up 15 or 20 minutes later. And at some point, they go on to this other dude's side of the court. And again, he's on the main court. I'm on the kind of adjacent, not smaller hoop, but smaller area. But I can see, they're coming to his side. And they're like on like a fast break. Both of them have their basketballs and they're like pulling up from 3, shooting a J. And of course, the older guy, the adult, gets upset by that. And I guess they have history with each other. I learned just from seeing what was going on. So before you know it, Brad, 5:30 in the morning, the kid is calling this dude a hoe. The adult is calling the kid an effing whore. And then they're squaring up for each other. And I was transported back to my first year as a teacher, Brad. I knew you back then. When I was in the lunchroom, I don't even think I was on lunch duty. I was just in the lunchroom for something. And I saw two kids squaring up and time froze. Total Zach Morrison Saved by the Bell. I looked around like, please tell me someone is seeing this, ideally an administrator. Administration was there, but they weren't seeing it. And they weren't playing like Scrabble. Their attention was just elsewhere. So then I stepped in to break up this fight. I did not step in to break up this potential fight because I saw this time the coach was just a few yards away, and it took him a while to finally walk over and try to squash it. But they were mounting up against each other, Brad. And I thought to myself, what are we even arguing over? Is it just about the basketball court space and who gets to use it and da? So it made me think about the state of the union on masculinity and on manhood that I think we need to reckon with in this country. I left the gym that day, and again, they squashed, and I guess it was okay, but there were still words being thrown to each other, and then I left and moved on. But to me, it makes me reflect on, for our young people, particularly our young men, who are the sort of role models in pop culture? And you could tell me, Brad, asking for role models in pop culture as celebrities is already a flawed question. I acknowledge that. But who are those figures now? Because I think for a lot of young men, the people they're looking to, I won't get too political about this, but the people they're looking to, I would argue, are not necessarily the best or healthiest or most ethical role models. I think a lot of folks who get attention and get clicks, who young men look up to, are people who are just aggressive to other men or to women or to both, are people who just sort of are not responsible, accountable individuals. So I want to pass this to you. I promise this is a true story. It made me think about, and I've confided with you on this, Brad, that this is true. I'm not so much on air, but definitely off air. As a man, how do you develop this sense of, I am tough, don't mess with me, but also you can embrace those softer sides of yourself, being vulnerable, being accountable, apologizing, learning from your mistakes. Like, I think we're at this place of, you can do both, right? You can be tough and you can be a protector. I think that's an inherent part of being a man, is you want to protect the people you care about, but also you shouldn't get into near fisticuffs at the gym at 5:30 for space on a basketball court. So I want to turn it over to you, because I've confided in you on this, and I think you've done a great job all the years I've known you, at work, outside of work, of being someone where, hey, you're not going to push me around physically or figuratively, but also I can be vulnerable. I can lean into that side of myself. I think for a lot of men, young, middle-aged, elderly, I think we grow up with just this shell of like, I have to be ready to explode on someone because that's just what I'm supposed to do as a dude. What say you? Am I tripping?
No, it's when you asked the question, I was thinking about for myself, like, what did I have growing up? What did you have growing up? We grew up in close to the same time periods, but we have about a decade between us. So it's, it's a little bit different. I had my dad, and I had my brother. He's 5 years older than I am. So, I saw the way he handled himself. I saw the way my dad handled himself. I knew the other men in my life were, a lot of them I knew from church, or it was like my grandfather or my Uncle Mike, Uncle Mike. And then I had teachers and other people, but when I think about like my access, I had like what's his name? Mark Summers from Double Dare on Nickelodeon. I had, unfortunately, the character's great. I had the Huxtables. I had, we're not gonna go Cosby though. I had people in sitcoms that were always like, yeah, this happened and I'm sorry that this happened, or I'm going to make sure you're okay. Also, you're grounded. all of those things where I think they were modeling those things on TV. I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have streamers and constant bombardment with negative things and steady stream of hot takes about every single possible topic, about politics, about sports, who's right, who's wrong. Never what happened. It's just who's right, who's wrong. We never ask ourselves about the substance anymore. We just have to pick a side. And I think that's really poisoned the well, is this culture of pick a side. And now if it's like, oh, you picked a side, but you picked the wrong side, then now we have a problem, and that problem can only be solved by violence, not even just like being ignored. You know, like for example, I have a lot of kids that, girls in particular in this case, but somebody will say something on social media and they're still posting about me and talking about me. And I was like, did you block them? Well, no, they're posting about me. I was like, so block them. And then what happens is you can't see it. Like, I don't know how to explain that further. They're like, but they're still talking about me. I was like, who cares? Let them talk. Mm-hmm. If they're talking and you're not, all they're doing is spending all their time on you. Doesn't that feel kind of good to know that you have that kind of influence on somebody? Instead, it's like, no, I got to fight him. If I see him, I'm going to hit him. And it's like, why? Why? They're just your PR person right now. And who cares? How is this going to affect you? You're 16. You're dating somebody. You're doing well in all your classes. This person's being terrible to you online. If it doesn't stop and you've told them to stop, report it. I don't know what else to say to you. Like, there's a pressure to do the physical thing because the physical thing is expected, but that expectation got created at some point, and I don't know when it was. I will always still believe that there's a room for it when all other avenues have been exhausted. You know, we've had instances at the school where like the school couldn't do anything or wouldn't do anything depending on the circumstance. Kids were being bullied, kids were being pushed around. And it's like, hey, we asked for this to stop. We asked for this to stop. We asked for this to stop. It didn't. I stopped it. Now I'm in trouble. At that point, it's like, yeah, you have consequences, but also I'm not going to get mad at it because I understand why it happened. It's just, I think we as adult figures, as men, just need to be models for it. The coach certainly has to intervene. But where did that come from in the first place? I'm sure I'm guilty of it at some point. I don't remember, but I don't remember ever squaring up over it, like it getting heated, pushing each other, whatever. Like you play sports, that it happens in the game sometimes. Like it just does. Like you both go for a ball and it's a pickup game and it's a jump ball situation. There's nobody there to blow the whistle dead. So you're just going to fight over it until you have it. And then eventually you end up on the ground and you're still holding on to the ball, fighting over it. And they're like, it's jump ball. Like, stop. Like somebody will
totally
say it.
Yeah. Of course. It's a byproduct of that's going to happen, especially like you said, without a referee, if it's a pickup game.
Yeah.
I just thought, but
squaring up over.
Yeah. And with your examples as well, any sort of tension that leads to, I want to fight this person or they want to fight me. What is the source of the tension? And if we unpack that, it's usually so silly that this goes back to my question to you about the chromosome. I don't want to put this just all, I think this can be across genders, right? We all get into petty beefs with each other. But I just, in this example, at 5:30 in the morning, if I did not mention that already, I just thought,
frustration, aggression.
Can we just talk this out? Can y'all just talk this out and everyone be safe and move forward? But it did not happen last week.
Of course not. You're trying to win when you're in a sport environment. So when you get into a situation like that, you're still trying to win. That mindset's still locked in. And then winning means defeating the other person. What's defeating mean in that place? It's physical. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. I probably avoided those things because, well, you know, look at me. I'm not winning. So like there's moments where that's just, I don't know.
Yeah. And we talk about an art form where inherently, if we're to summarize wrestling in 1 or 2 sentences, people have beef with each other. They settle it in a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
But that's entertainment. That's not how we solve our everyday problems.
But it's also legitimately time and place. They don't go, I'm going to meet you at the Y. Like,
we're going to meet you at Dynasty.
Yeah. We're going to get you at Dynasty. I want you in this ring so I can fight you. Not, I want you at the supermarket because I'm stone cold and You are not, and I'm going to fight you with both with milk. Like, I'm not going
It's
to.
just,
No,
I
it's
think
weird.
nowadays you just have to be careful. I think people,
You-
my takeaway, Brad, is people, and I learned this from you too. People are going through a lot, and
Yeah.
I even thought, okay, if this is summer in Phoenix and Glendale, like I get it. It's hot. It's like do the right thing. It's hot. The rent is up. People's tensions are just on 1,000.
Yeah.
But this was a case of, yo, it's beautiful. It's gonna be a high of 78 today. It's a Friday. I didn't mention this is on a Friday. It's payday, and y'all are tripping. Blew my mind. Please close this out.
You said something that is something that I've been giving people all year this year, and I think I told you this. It's the switching the mindset question when you're frustrated or angry at something. Instead of like, why am I mad? It's what am I mad at? Because if you're switching it from like, why am I mad? Oh, I'm mad because my shoes are dirty. Like somebody stepped on my white shoes. Okay. And now I got a big old mark on them. I'm mad because my shoe just got dirty. But what am I mad at? I'm mad at dirt. I'm currently mad at dirt. My anger is directed at dirt. And if you frame it like that, suddenly it's like, all right, this is ridiculous. So to your point, yeah, when you start breaking down like what is the source, it starts feeling really silly when you're like, I'm mad at basketballs. I'm mad at the rubber floor. I'm literally mad at the square footage that my feet walk upon. What a stupid thing to be mad about. It's easy if you can change that mindset. It's acknowledging that you have a mindset that can be changed. It's acknowledging that you're feeling silly things in the first place instead of, well, no, I'm mad because that person did something. And it's like, so what? You don't control them. You control you. Do that. Control you now. And I think it's equipping people. It's an uphill fight and it's an uphill battle my entire career teaching psychology and mental and social health because guys have a hard time opening up. When they do, they open all the way up. And then it's like, it's hard to shut that door a little bit. And I think that's just from years and years and years of repressing it, of rub some dirt on it. It's not that big of a deal. You're not hurt. So walk it off emotionally or physically. So it's a societal and a cultural shift that needs to happen. And in this climate, I only see it getting worse. I hope I'm wrong. But it's definitely a struggle. Tyler, we talked about a lot of things, but what did we miss?
We did. That was good. I appreciate you so much. That was beautiful. Well said. Okay, what did we miss? Hang with me. I have a few notes here. TNA talk. Chavo Guerrero wrestled on Impact for the first time in over a decade. No, this is Chavo.
I'm just
Guerrero.
playing. I'm just playing.
Yeah, okay. I did see your face when you said that. That's funny. Brad, I'm telling you, I'm going to get my money's worth out of this TNA Deluxe package.
That's right. Yeah.
I signed up because I forgot to cancel it last year, and thus I'm locked in. Okay. Chavo Guerrero Jr. He did wrestle on Impact. He looked phenomenal. One of my favorite moments in wrestling this week. I'm completely serious about this. He hit the Three Amigos on AJ Francis, the artist formerly known as Top Dollar, and eventually a frog splash on Casey Navarro to earn he and the Aztec Warriors a victory over First Class and Frankie Kazarian in a 6-man tag match. Very, very fun. Okay, quickly. Ariana Grande, music side. Transition Jones. She dropped the deluxe edition of her Eternal Sunshine album. It's great, Brad. So many bops. Standout tracks for me. Eternal Sunshine, Supernatural, and Dandelion. I was also put on game. There's a short film to accompany the album, now available on YouTube. Major sci-fi vibes. Final two notes. Molly Miller was formally introduced as Arizona State's new women's basketball coach. There's lots of fan fervor around the program. People are comparing her to a hybrid of longtime ASU women's coach Charlie Turner Thorne, easy for me to say, and football coach Kenny Dillingham. I think the future is really bright. She has a stellar track record. Her work at GCU and previous to that, Drury University, I believe in Missouri. So there's lots to be excited about. A new era of ASU women's hoops. And then finally, my friend, TV Wise. The season finale of The White Lotus is Sunday. My power rankings for who does not make it through alive. Top spot, I have Greg/Gary. I have Guy Talk, and I have Saxon. There are so many amazing actors and actresses in this cast, Brad. I remember talking with you a couple months ago, and I said, I don't know many people on this cast. There's Patrick Schwarzenegger. There's Leslie Bibb. There's Natasha Rothwell. Great performances all season. Walton Goggins is my new favorite actor.
Wow.
This season's
Welcome.
been
He's amazing.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, thank you. He is amazing. His character Rick is great. Very excited for The White Lotus. Check out that Ariana Grande album, and shout out to Chavo Guerrero. It's been a great week. What do we miss?
I don't really have anything to add. I had a really busy week. I have Adam Pearce is hilarious, and that is all I have on my list. I know there were other things, but it escaped me when I was writing them this morning. I was like, oh, what did we miss? I can't remember anything. I was trying to stick with some positives, and I wrote down Adam Pearce is hilarious. So there are other things we missed, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I got my contract. So that's something we missed.
For AEW or for Miranda Unified School District?
For AEW.
Yeah. Very nice.
Miranda one was in there too somewhere.
It was in, okay, yeah. Multiple offers. Very popular. Okay, Brad, what a memorable episode. I had fun. I hope everyone watching or listening did as well. Please know that we are a community. We want to hear your thoughts, your reviews, your predictions, sports, culture, lifestyle, batch. We want to hear it all. You can follow us at GIPod19 for exclusive show updates and to share your perspective and much more. Thank you all for being here, and we will see you next week. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.